He arrives at the scene, belligerent man on the ground, kicking and screaming, already in handcuffs. The drunk man quickly notices this new officer and doesn't hesitate to comment on his anatomy, specifically the back of his head. It was misshapen. Anybody on the force would wonder if this dude was suitable for this kind of line of duty. The man yelled at him in his drunken slurs. The back of your head is flat because your mother never turned you in your cradle. You laid on your back and stared at those little toys as they rotated. She didn't care about you. That was enough to do him in. Perhaps it was a little too true. The other officers looked at each other and knew that it struck him right to the core. But right away, this officer volunteered to single-handedly deliver him back to the station and give the other guys a break. Riding along a dark highway in the middle of nowhere, there's no street lights, only headlights, and few of them at that. The officer's silent the whole drive, not even looking back at him. The man gives up. But he notices this officer just took a turn down a gravel road in the middle of nowhere. Soon the gravel turns into just dirt, mud holes. He's really off-road now, going deep into the forest. The only light is the moon up in the sky. It's full and bright, no clouds. The man realized this is no direction, no shortcut for the police station. This officer had other plans for him. He knew he wasn't up for any negotiating as well. He suddenly stops the car, gets out. The man questioning, but it just falls on deaf ears. He's not responding. He slams his door and goes around to the back. All the man hears is the sound of a trunk popping behind him, then complete silence. He's really sweating now. He notices he was never buckled into his seat, and he starts to rip his hands out of his cuffs, but they're too tight. Right about then, the door suddenly pops open, but the officers are nowhere to be seen. It's an invitation out of the vehicle, and he gladly takes it. Before he knows it, he's kicked the door open and he's running as fast as he can through the woods. Branches smacking him in the face, unable to block anything with his hands behind his back. Thorns ripping. He's already bleeding and losing breath. Suddenly, he crashes into a hillside. He sees the officer's flashlight dancing in the distance along trees. He knows he's now being hunted by this man. And he's gaining on him. He catches his breath for a moment with his back against this steep hillside. He turns around, rolls over, gets to his knees and stands up and looks at this giant, steep hill. He thinks if he gets on top of this hill, maybe he can get a bird's eye of where he can run to. He looks to the top of this steep hill. Notice there's been a little bit of digging. Perhaps there's some kind of tunnel he can hide in. But he doesn't have much time to think. He's gaining on him. The cop is ripping through the woods. And he doesn't know what he's pulled out of that trunk either. The reflection from all the pearls and shells glimmer in the moonlight. He has no idea what he's looking at. It's the mound inviting him in. He slides all the way to the bottom, the shells ripping into his flesh. The officer, he recognizes what this is. He knows exactly what it is. He's at the mounds. This one was special, though. Officer quickly turns around, simultaneously racking around in his shotgun, pointing the light right into the man's face. It was the inmate. It was a man he just had in his custody. Staring at him with empty eyes, a blank look on his face, sitting with his legs crossed on the ground. He was no longer out of breath or in a panic at all. Just looking through this man, looking through the officer. The officer slowly lowered his gun and grabbed the man by his arm and lifted him up and walked him back to the vehicle. They were both silent. I had nothing to say about what just happened, but something was different about the man. Breakfast being prepared, the family gathered around the table. The boy still had this beautiful point in his hand. The parents seemed a little uninterested. They had no clue what he had, an artifact. The boy sat there. They weren't pleased with him playing with this rock next to his food, but they liked to see him passionate about anything, so. Right about then, a knock on the door. Mother, excited, drops her food, goes right up, opens it. It's the old man, the grandfather.